welcome to the big show. I am your host, Jerk, and go ahead and give yourselves a pat on the back because you deserve it. You've gone and done it again. You have successfully made it to another freaking weekend. So let's have some fun. Maybe that means maxing and relaxing poolside or huddling away in the deep, dark depths of your man cave. But whatever it is, have a good time all the time. And speaking of good times, that's going to get us to today's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and join me in welcoming out the Tech Tree Tier 7 Italian battleship. Give it up for Vittorio Veneto. Yes, Vittorio Veneto is back in the house. You see, with the announcement of Tier 8 being added into the game as a tech tree, I wanted to make sure that I have enough experience on all my battle boats to be able to get any of these new ships as soon as they're added. And lo and behold, I only had about 50,000 Elite XP on here, so I decided I should be playing it a bit more, and man am I ever glad that I did, because I had forgotten just how much fun it is, and honestly, I'm not going to be upset that the reload on this ship is getting buffed, but these are already fantastic brawlers, and you can have so much fun in them. So to dial my fun factor to 10, here are the commander and modules I use. That is Paolo with Von Hipper and Haruna Matata, and that can mean only one thing: pure secondaries. Is that wise? I think so. I mean, the dispersion on this ship is pretty bad, and even speccing all the way into accuracy, I mean, even if you do have the pay-to-win commander, so to speak, makes it mediocre at best. So instead, I focus on what this ship does well, and that is getting close and brawl with the best of them. I don't need accuracy when I'm blasting away at 6 kilometers, and honestly, aside from a stinker match here and there, the tankiness of these ships combined with the crawling smoke allow you to get into all sorts of disruptive positions, and that is how I like to play this line. Now, taking advantage of some poor positioning by the Reds and get myself into a spot where the Red team can say, where the hell did this guy come from? Maybe I'm incorrect in how I play, but I'm a firm believer that there is little reason to wait in most matches. There is a 15-minute timer, and each match has an early, a mid, and an end game. Hopefully you're there to see the end, but if you're not, then hopefully you had enough impact to affect the outcome of the match. So that's why I am up here. I am up here supporting our destroyer. Our destroyer who, I guess they didn't want to see the end of the match, because this destroyer is in fact going to start open water gunning a mines, and yeah, that's going to go about as well as you expect, especially considering it's just an Orkan. So yes, I moved up here to support my destroyer, much to the dismay of the North Carolina behind me, who was requesting I get back, Jerk. Don't you know up there you might have to actually play the game? Well, yeah, that's why I clicked ready, because I want to play and I want to have some fun, not just sit where I spawn and wait for someone to spot for me. Now that I see some red torpedoes popping up on the side of my screen, that tells me that there is a destroyer out there. Where is it? There it is. It is an Asasio. And knowing that there is a destroyer over there is my cue to do my thing. That is to say, it is go time. And in parting, I will take one last shot at this mines, and maybe we will get our first ship sunk. Here we go, and they got But with that mines kiting off to Neverland and the Brandenburg heading to what looks like the northeast for a 3-hour tour, do you see what I see? I see an open path to B and the possibility of a most excellent flank. To the turkeys behind me, I say, arrivederci. Maybe if you'd been up here earlier, we could have gotten rid of that destroyer, but no, you wanted to go camp behind an island, so I will let you deal with it now, while I tarantella to the west and say, ciao. So we're going to go ahead and head through the gap here. Maybe get one more shot off on this Brandenburg. Oh, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. What have we here? Why, it is another destroyer lurking about, and it kind of makes you wonder, so what's the holdup over on the other side? What has kept them off the cap? But while we do continue to wonder that, let us just puff through this pass and smoke them, because we got them. Now, the destroyer did drop both sets right there, and I am still spotted, so I know they're directly in front of me still because that is my smoke fire penalty. But being as we're going to have a little bit of time, they're not going to be able to see which way I'm going, so I'm using this to reposition, get my broadside no longer exposed to that Brandenburg, and just get right up here behind these guys. And this is one of the reasons that I really like this line of battleships. Being able to pull off these maneuvers like this without being seen just allow you to do some really fun stuff, and there's a pretty good element of strategy in here too. You're gonna see me do this again in a little bit, but more of in a brawling sense. But now I am up on the cap, and I can start to flip this, and maybe that destroyer that's been sitting just south of this cap in the canal will get on here and do something now. I'm not sure what they've been waiting for this whole match. I'm guessing they had twist and track, and there was like saying that the other destroyer, which I believe is a Moss behind me, was close or something, but yeah. No, hello, ladies. Does anyone mind if Jerk cuts in? Look at these three cruisers. We've got a Cleveland, we've got a York, and we've got a Shores. The York is my first target because it has torpedoes and because it's facing away from me. I'm sorry, Jerk, did you just say you were firing on the York because it was facing away from you? Yes, I did. And my reason for that is the same reason that these guns are so special. They've got very high shell velocity, and when combined with questionable accuracy, that means firing on broadside cruisers is going to result in many, many overpins, the bane of the battleship's existence. But when you take these guns and combine them with sap shells, it becomes much less of an issue because these sap shells will, in the words of Peter Murphy, cut you up and spit you out. So, let's get rid of this York while we can. And we're going to get them right here. That's going to be our first ship sunk finally. We can now swing over and get our rear turret of justice off on the shores, even though our secondaries would be making short work of them anyway. We can see the damage numbers ticking up. But there we will go there, and then we can turn our attention back to this Cleveland. You know, if only there was a way to mitigate overpins on broadside cruisers. Well, stand by to have your mind blown, because there is a way. Watch what I do here. I am just barely aiming into the water, and watch what happens. Bonk to the Citadel and 3 or 4 overpins. All right, hold on. All right, let's get the forensic team out here and let's zoom and enhance. Enhance. The shell that you want to watch is the one that is directly to the right of my aim indicator. If you watch, you will see it splashes the water right before the Citadel indicator flashes up right here. There are an additional 4 shells to the right of that, 3 of which hit and are overpins, and then 1 to the furthest to the right that goes over the top. It takes practice and a bit of luck, but you battleship mains will be doing a lot more damage to those broadside cruisers if you can just remember to try it. I think you'll be surprised with the results, but you really need to just get your aim barely onto the water so your shells don't drop too short. With the Cleveland out of the way now, we can finally brawl. Now, I've been angling towards the North Carolina this whole time until I got a chance to focus on them. Get rid of the cruisers first, then focus the battleships. So, this is where you can see it would have helped for this North Carolina to pre-turn their turrets. I'm directly going at them like this. I have no intention of ramming. What I'm trying to do is get them to either blow a salvo or out-turn their guns. So they do get a shot off there. It looks like they got 1 pin, but now I have time to actually turn. And so now that I have this turn in, I'm angling away. And I want to disengage for a moment. There is this moss. I mean, it is tempting to shoot at this North Carolina, but I'm not going to just yet. I just want to get the positioning more in my favor. And this is where I'm going to use the smoke to kind of do that. So yeah, I'm technically in their RGA still, but once I hit 3 kilometers, I'll be out. We just bounce every shell there, and because that North Carolina just fired, they will continue to be spotted for the next 20 seconds, allowing my secondaries to just keep chipping away at them. Watch these secondaries go. I mean, it's not huge hits, but look, there's 1,000, there's 600. I mean, these saps do add up quite quickly. All right, so they dropped their spot right now, but what if they were to shoot again blindly? Let's find out. And they do. Okay, well, now I know they've got another 30-second reload, so we can go ahead and get our shot off because I've gotten a much better position, and I don't mind that I'm spotted now. We got what we wanted out of that, which was the majority of their health. We got ourselves angled away. We got a heal in. We're actually going to end up sinking this North Carolina with our secondaries as well, and then I'll be able to flip this cap. So if we look at the score right now, it's roughly 623 to 629. Once we sink this North Carolina, we're going to get a pretty decent point flip, and that's going to put us in the lead now. I'm not exactly sure what is going on the other side, but my assumption is that the destroyer is heading towards me to try and torp the big dumb battleship. But that is my fault for assuming such a thing because they actually are not. That destroyer is in fact heading down the center channel to try and get on our home cap. And that, whether they know it or not, is going to be the best way to win the game. Now, I'm still intending to head back to B cap because I'm assuming that's where the destroyer actually is. But as soon as I see that our C cap is being capped, or contested I should say, you're going to see that I do a hard turn to starboard. Right there, we see the Moss and the North Carolina who told me to get back sinks. So the points have flipped again. This means we need to sink that Moss, and the best way to do that would be a mines pushing it. However, our mines is more of the kiting persuasion, and all right, I don't want to point fingers because there are definitely things that I could have done different in this match. And, you know, that mines, maybe they just want to get eyes on the Brandenburg. I mean, if we were to sink that, then we would have the points flip again. And so, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe this is where I messed up. I could have had AP loaded right now, and I potentially could get a very large hit on this Brandenburg, but my intention, now that the mines is getting off of the cap, is, well, okay, I've got to go sink this destroyer. Somebody has to, and I'm hoping that maybe that'll flip our points around. So I'm going to actually shoot HE here. You know, I'm like, okay, maybe we can get the Brandenburg to burn a damage control, and then I'm going to activate my smoke to, you know, cause a little panic. I was really wanting to do that before I got spotted, but you know what, maybe it works out for the best because the Moss will actually end up dropping both sets of torps, you know, knowing that I'm coming but not exactly knowing where I am. Again, maybe I should be shooting at the Brandenburg right now. Probably should be using AP and hitting the Brandenburg, but I'm thinking, okay, well, the mines can get them, and I will get this destroyer, and that will be that. And maybe this is just some bad, poor time management on my part. There is one set. Where's the other? It's got to be around here somewhere, right? There they are. And there, my RGA picks up the Maz. So I've got my guns turned. You know, I probably shouldn't have even fired my guns at this Maz. I could have just fired them, kept firing at the Brandenburg, and let my secondaries do their thing. But I guess I was just thinking that the the mines would be able to take out that Brandenburg. Maybe they will. It is going to come down to the very end of this match, though. So Moss is finally coming forward, and here we go. That is Kraken 398. I believe, in the Vittorio Veneto. And now I need my guns reloaded and turned. I don't have enough time left in this match to get a shot off, sadly. But maybe this mines can use AP and actually get a little bit more damage. Or maybe they will just keep spamming HE and we will see what happens, which is going to be wah-wah, a very close match. But let's look at all these medals. 1,877 XP for a very good game and a loss. I mean, a win, that would have been 3,200 and change. But GG's to everyone involved, and that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you're looking forward to the Lepanto, which will have 6 triple 152 sap shells, give this video a like. If you think they should just remove sap from the game entirely, give this video a dislike. Questions, comments, leave them down below. And if you want to see a Kraken video on the class horn, then, actually, I am not going to show you that match. Thanks for watching, folks. I will get back out there for another one, and we will talk then.